All right. All you freedom loving boys and girls, Centerline Systems. Hey, this video is going to be about the key DC that we make. But before I get into it, I have a question. In a couple of videos back, I think that was like 3 or 4 videos now, I did a little intro thingy, because all the software is different and I guess I need to get more familiar with the software, but tell me what you think. Leave a comment. I mean, I wouldn't obviously do that. I'd do something different, but I don't know, the intro videos, the title cards, all that kind of crap. Just trying to have a little fun here, 2026, mix it up a little bit. All right, without further ado, let's get into the key DC. So the key DC, it's back on the website. It was one of our limited run products for the month of January. We're going to leave it on probably for at least the rest of the first quarter, if not going through the second quarter, and then maybe all the rest of the year. We'll just see what you guys and gals think about it. But here's one in Nemesis Woodland Wolf, and we've got a bunch of whole different loadout videos, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of that, but this is designed. Well, so there, I got to start right there. So this is old. We made this product a long time ago. We came up with it. And how we did this is Kevin Estella. And if you don't know who Kevin Estella is, I'm going to bring up some info in a second. But Kevin Estella, I don't know. I am getting old, seriously, but I just don't remember. It has to have been 6 years ago, somewhere between 6 and 8 years ago. Kevin reached out to me and wanted like a small pouch for your no joke bleepity bleep, don't ever want to lose out in the field, right? Like, oh my gosh, if I lose this, I'm in trouble. And then leave it to the end user, you guys and gals, do you want it as a signals kit, a fire kit, a boo-boo kit, a wallet? I actually use mine as a wallet, but and you'll see another one. I've got one rigged up for my hunting kit. There's a whole bunch of different ways to use it. It can be worn like a little lanyard around your neck. And so way back in the day, we had a couple different configurations. We're not doing that going forward. We're just going to stick with the lanyard on top. That was the more popular version anyway. I think most people were throwing it in a pocket or wearing it around their neck, because if this was my emergency fire and signal, I don't want to ever lose that. I want that to be secured. And you might have a small ferro rod or a flashlight, things you don't ever want to be without. And even if you don't wear it around your neck, but you put it in your front pocket, attach a dummy cord here and then dummy cord, with 550 cord, do a good knot. And I'm going to start doing knots. Stay tuned. I think I'll have this material. This is orange colored shock cord. I think I'll have that next week. And then I'll start doing different color shock cord, because you could do exactly that. Use the shock cord to make a dummy cord out of 550 cord. But that way, if it falls out of your pocket, like literally falls out of your pocket, it's tied off to your pants though. So then it would still at least be there dangling, right behind you, as opposed to lost and you don't realize it until 10 miles later. And I'll do a little bit of not a real loadout, but just wanted to point out some of the main things. So you can see in the back, there's a rear slip pocket, and that could be for, your ID card, your credit card, your concealed carry, your thing at work for buzzing yourself in and out. It's got a self-closing bottom, so this lip that closes makes the pocket on the bottom. One more time, Nemesis. Clint, you're a genius. Then it opens up, and then, again, I'll show you another one here, but you've got a couple different options for running storage through here, small items. You can get space pens in there, small lighters, small pill containers, surreptitious entry type of tools, and I'll get into that in a second. And then you've got 2 rear slip pockets on the inside. And on mine, I think I have 6 cards in mine. And it'll, and depending on the card and the size and all that, it's designed for credit cards, but not all credit cards. Some of them are thick and like metal, like you could shave them down into, emergency, shurikens, ninja Death Stars if you needed. But you've got 2 spots, and it's easy to get at the back one. So, for your, whatever you're going to carry, credit cards, permit to carry that. And then, again, you do you. Well, here, I'll just show you, kind of give you a better sense. So this is one of the really old versions. So forget what you're seeing down there. That's not going to be there. This is the one I just took off of my hunting kit, and I just wanted to do it as a little show and tell. All right, so you can kind of see. So I've got emergency matches right through here. Those are the really good one. Tighten, you can get them wet and they still stay lit. A striker behind it. And then dummy corded together is I have an emergency whistle from Black Scout Survival. And then in the rear, I have my emergency signal mirror. So this is like an emergency signals kit for when I'm hunting, you know, and I'm concerned about making noise, making fire, and not dying and being able to signal for some help. Now, so that's what Kevin reached out to me about a long time ago. He wanted something, a pouch that could contain those type of items. All right. So, and I got to do some justice here. Give me a second. I'm going to share some stuff, getting back into the software. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to disappear. I'll have to go over here, but just to show you a little bit about Kevin Estella, this is just kevinestella.com. It's his website. Become more capable. And he's got some partners. There's his, where you can find him. I'm assuming that's Instagram. That's probably Instagram. I follow him on Instagram as well. You can always go and see who I follow and then find him. And you can see all the different videos. And then here at the end, you're seeing a book. Let me come over here. Remove. All right. And now I just got to do this one more time. Give me a sec. And then if you're interested, share this. All right, one final second. So this is just over on Amazon. He has a couple books. This is his first book, 101 Skills You Need to Survive in the Woods. And his newest book, Beyond the Field. And then you can see his name right there, how it's spelled. Kevin, pretty standard, but Estella, Echo Sierra, Tango Echo, Lima Alpha, Estella. So yeah, Kevin had reached out to me years and years ago. Again, oh, I'm so old. Okay, why did it do it that present that way? There we go. That's better. I don't like too much of me, even on my tiny little computer monitor. Face for radio, voice for silent film. You know, I love that little stupid saying. But so anyway, Kevin Estella, check him out. He came and approached me years ago. Hey, Mark, could you make something? And this is the design I came up with. You know, we ran it for a long time. And, you know, and you can imagine this is like a loss lead product. You know, there's not a lot of profit margins in a small product like this. And because it's small, it's actually really a kind of difficult to sew. But then on that same line, the line of the concealment wallet, you know, Jack over at Black Scout Survival, you know, we'd make the concealment belts for him, the medical deployment pouches, and the concealment wallets. And that's kind of a spin-off of the Key DC. And I want to show you that because that's another great product, right? So if you're looking for more of like, you know, the international travel, surreptitious, you know, safety, security. So this is my original one I made for him way back in the day. So this is, again, this is like 5 to 6 years old. They're 6 to 7 years old. So what's cool about this version is it has an Ulti-clip on the back. And this Ulti-clip, and Ulti-clip people, don't throw me under the bus here. I think it's 70 pounds of pressure to open this thing, right? So when this is open and you slide it on your gear, talking ain't doing, because that's a little metal catch there. So imagine if you were traveling or if you were jogging, like, so if you were jogging or if you were at the beach and you were wearing running shorts, no pockets, you could put this inside of your shorts and clip it in place. And you know, I don't want to choke myself out, but it isn't going anywhere. I'm trying to pull it up, you know, and I've done this before where I've cross-collared, choked myself, you know, but this could be hidden inside, you know, a jacket, ladies, inside your bra, inside of your pants, inside of your waistline, you know, and if you were worried about, you know, travel or pickpocketing, no one's going to pickpocket this thing from you. You could use your disposable wallet, and then this guy always stays hidden, stays secure, you know, so you can, you know, keep your money, you know, have a disposable wallet. That's just a thought, right? If you go into it. The other thing when I was doing this is I was using this clip and I was just folding dollars and putting my dollars, and literally only dollars, not tens, not fives, tens, and 20s, just dollars. I'm small business owner. None of my stuff's made in China. You know, there's no profit here. But I'd be putting dollars up here and then just clip it. And then my dollars would be on the back. And then all my credit cards, my driver's license. And I carry like a small little pill case, a lighter, and a micro flashlight. That's what I carry in mine. But I wanted to reach out. I talked to Jack earlier. Hey, everybody say a prayer for Jack. poor guy is sick as he's sick right now. I was like, why are you even talking to me on the phone, brother? He's like, oh, I got long. You know, get better, Jack, get better. But for his customers, we just finished a drop of the concealment wallets, and that's I guess where I'm going to end up. So this is the back side. This is Chuck Norris. Good guys wear black, so it's just all in black. And this is what I wanted to end with. So again, backside, you can kind of see that ulti clip back there. See, that's brand new. You know, I got to open them, close them, open them, and close them. I mean, yeah, you get a workout in, but so you can probably see that. So there's the clip. The company is called Ulti Clip, made in America. They're great people, very easy to do business with, and a really good product. And that gives you that either use it to secure it, you know, and conceal it, or like I said, you know, put some dollars or maybe some hundreds, maybe put some Hondos, some Benjamins back there if you got them. But that's the clip part. Multicam black. I don't know if that Coyote Brown's going to show up right there, but it'll start showing up here. And then he wanted some in multicam black with Coyote Brown. That just looks so sick. There's the inside of it, what it kind of would look like on the inside. So these are going in the mail. Once we're done with this video, I'll actually finish boxing these up and I'll ship these down to Jack. So if you're a Black Scout Survival customer, or if you like the concealment wallet version, so I do have a tab on my website called BSS, Bravo Sierra Sierra Gear. That's Black Scout Survival. You know, we make the gear for him. I want to show off the things we make. And there's links to go to his website. Now we're starting to sell the med kit on our side. So we've got the med kit, the medical deployment pouch, over in the standard custom folder or tab. But all the products, if you want the rest of the gear or the accoutrements, the things, the lickies and chewies that go in to the med kit or the wallet or the belt, you know, I've got a link that goes to his site, and then you can get all that stuff. This one, I mean, well, look, I could customize you one of these in the PDC version, but if you want this version in the concealment wallet, you're going to have to go over to Black Scout Survival. And that's where I kind of just wanted to end it, just point that out. So another version, it still has the same inside, same, you know, kind of functionality, but you've got that Ulti Clip, which does give you enhanced security, you know, just because it's 70 pounds of pressure. You saw that. I mean, if that was in the clipped on the inside of a shirt, jacket, you know, pant line, waistline, belt, yeah, that no one's just, you know, sleight of hand and then off your body. And again, and then you could have a deep concealment that could be in the small of your back. And then you got a throwaway wallet. You know, if you were traveling, think about this stuff. It's, you know, or have a backup copy of your passport in there and maybe $100 bill. You know, you do you, or use it like that and then use it as an emergency boo-boo kit, fire kit, signal kit, wallet. Yeah, it's yours. You do it. You do you. All right, that's our KDC. Really happy to get that back on the website. Thanks to everybody who reached out, you know, last year. And that kind of was really helped compel me to, how are we going to do this? And that ended up with me coming up with the limited run and then doing the KDC right away. And I made a mistake, final comment, made a mistake what March limited run is going to be. So it is not going to be the Gap pouch. It's going to be something else. Stay tuned. And I'll be doing more videos this month and you'll see why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I think you'll be excited. I'm pretty excited, but that's it. The KDC up on the website. Awesome piece of gear. Really happy Kevin Estella reached out to, you know, little old us, Centerline Systems, and said, hey, can you make something badass for me? And we did. Now it's back. And then we made the concealment version for Jack and his customers because they're a little bit more, you know, just, hey, safety, right? Everyday carry, preparedness, self-reliance, you know, so both of these versions do the same thing, kind of cover all of those bases. All right, boys and girls, if you got any questions, you know the deal. Reach out anytime. I'll do the best I can to help you out. Until then, and as always, keep thinking, keep moving, never quit. We'll see you guys again real soon. All right, everybody,